All right, man. Let's talk about clipping. Let's do a clipping tier list. I'll actually zoom out and I'll throw an extra tier. I didn't really set up before, but yeah. I'm just gonna say, if you're a huge clipping fan, you probably won't like me, because I don't know if their music just hasn't clicked with me yet, or maybe it's just not for me. Personally, though, I am not the biggest fan of everything they've done. I kind of think they're inconsistent. I think they got some high highs, but they have some just mediocre lows. Yeah, let's just get into it. First off, I just want to say, this was a tier list that had the single on it. I don't know. I think it's called like Chapter 319. I listened to the song. That's a good song, but I'm not gonna rank songs against albums. I just don't do it like that. Yeah, it's kind of weird to me ranking like a song above an album. It's like yeah. Okay, let's just get into it. Starting us off at the bottom, we got Face. I mean, it's called DBA 9, or it's like 118 or something. But it was re-released as Face EP, or like the Face album, and yeah, it's just. I mean, Face is a banger, but everything else is just mid. Yeah, that's all I really gotta say, man. That's my only gripe with this album. The other two songs just aren't good, and Face is good, so that's all. That's a strong 3. There's really nothing special here. And then above that, I'm gonna have to throw Clubbing. I don't know, because I guess it's like a joint collab project. It's super confusing to listen to. I was listening to it, I was like, what is going on? Because there's like the first track, it's like this one, so it's like Clipping got instrumentals from themselves. Like they went back and got some of their old instrumentals and handed them to like this weird house, quote unquote, house music producer. I don't even know. And then he made the songs like club music. That's at least what I think of it as. I genuinely have no idea what happened with this thing. I have no idea why it exists. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I don't know. The first track's good. That's all I have to say. It's a light 4 for me. I don't really know what else to say. It's just kind of boring. Yeah. Above that, though, we got the Clipping EP. Jump is a good song. Chain gets kind of annoying. And I mean, like, why would I not just listen to Mid City instead, That's all I really gotta say. Clipping EP is a strong 5 to a light 6 for me. And then above that, I'm gonna have to throw... I'm looking at my notes right now, I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw Splendor and Mystery. Yeah, that sounds about right. Unless... No, I'm throwing Splendor and Mystery. It's a concept album. I couldn't follow the concept, though. I get it. I kind of know what it is, loosely. But yeah, I didn't even know it was a concept album until like the end. I was like, wait, this was a concept album? The production's boring. There's no bangers on here. It's just consistently good, I was like, it's just all right. It's a good album. Honestly, I might throw it in D tier. I'll throw it in D tier. I was just bored, man. Like, the production's so boring. I want Clipping to make more of that, like, noisy, ba-da-da, boof, boof, boof. And I'm like, yes. I like it when they're loud, man. Not when they're with their spacey kind of atmosphere. And that might sound contradictory to what I have later, But it's just like, it's just so boring, man. I was not intrigued by this album, It just kind of made me fall asleep, and it was just kind of faded into the background. It's a light 6. It's a light to decent 6. It's quality, but I'm like, it's just all right, man. It's fine. Above that, though, we got the Deep. First track's good. Second track, hold on. The first track, it's a good song. The second track is all right, and the closer's good. It's a good EP, man. That's all I really gotta say. I like the concept. I like the storytelling. I think the production's a little more intriguing. It's just a good EP, man. It's a light to decent 7 for me, honestly. Then above that, I'm gonna have to throw the Wriggle EP, which it kind of pains me to put it this low, because I feel like the first 2 tracks, no, I'm not a fan. But then when you get into tracks like it starts so mediocre, but then it picks up with like bangers like Backup and Wriggle and No Love. I'm not saying the other part of it. And then it kind of ends weak, But it's like, it has those 3 songs, so half of it's basically really good, but the other half's just kind of like, no, stop. So it has to go right here, which kind of sucks because it has some pretty good Clipping songs on it. Wriggle is a decent 7 for me, though. I like it. Going into B tier, though, we have Clipping, the self-titled. Their sub pop debut. I don't know. It's always like labeled as that for some reason, which I mean it is, but why do you keep bringing it up? I just wish there were more tracks that sounded like Body and Blood and Ends, because Body and Blood is one of Clipping's best songs. It has some of the best production of any Clipping song. David's performance is like, Jesus Christ, man. It is so good. Just his hook, he's like, oh my God, bro. And the beat is fire. I want more of those heavy hitting, bam, bam, bam. Like, that's so good. It's so good when they do that, but they like so rarely do it. The instrumentals get a little hollow towards the end, and the production I just feel like they call themselves noise. Like, they call themselves like a noise hip hop fusion thing, and I'm like, okay, you know. But I feel like you can call yourself noise and not have just like loose, messy instrumentals, you know. I feel like when people say that they're like, oh, we make noise music, you know, it's just an excuse for them to say, oh, we can't really make a thorough beat and we just make these really loose and messy instrumentals that are kind of boring. Yeah, that's just how some of these instrumentals sound on here. It kind of loses its steam towards the middle, I'll be honest with you, and that closer is awful. But it's consistently like good, you know. It's like Splendor and Mystery, but if Splendor and Mystery had some big highlights on it, you know. It's a strong 7 to a light 8 for me. It could go in C tier, but I'll keep it in B. It's fine. Mid City is above that though, in A tier. In Mid City, ooh, it's definitely not mid. I'll say that. It's noisy, like it's really noisy. I was listening to this, and there'd be times where it's just like, and I'm like, ugh! I literally jumped while I listened to it. It's really, really loud, honestly. It's almost a little too loud. Yeah, it's just really consistent, though. It's a collection of very noisy bangers, you know? But it's just really consistent, man. It kind of reminds me of Peggy's Black Ben Carson, to where it's literally just consistent, good song after good song. As I said, though, it does get a little noisy, so much so where it's like on the lowest volume, it still really hurts my ears. Yeah, it's one of the noisiest albums I might have heard, actually. Yeah, it's really good, though. It's a light 9, I'll be honest. And then S tier, I'll just put them back to back, man. It's There Existed an Addiction to Blood and Visions of Bodies Being Burned. These basically, I feel kind of similar on both of these albums, so they kind of flow into each other. Because I feel like when you listen to Existed, let me get my notes right here. You listen to it, it starts out weak, but then it just picks up, it keeps going, and it gives you these bangers after bangers, and you're like, whoa. And after this, I wasn't even like planning on listening to Visions of Bodies Being Burned like right after. I might have listened to one album, I think I did. I listened to one album right after There Existed an Addiction to Blood, and then I threw in Visions right after, man, because I was so like into this atmosphere. I love the production on Existed. It's so good. It just ends banger after banger after banger. It literally does not let up. And I was like enjoying it so much that I was paying attention to the lyrics. I love the stories that are being told on here. You dial into those and you start like seeing like movies in your head and you're like, what? David is like S tier on these albums. His pen game is S tier on here. He's one of the best storytellers, honestly. I'll be honest, like it's crazy. Yeah. There Existed an Addiction to Blood is a decent 9 for me. I really like it. And then Visions is just a continuation of Existed. It feels like a two-parter, you know? It feels like they made a double album but split it into two and released it separately. And thank God. I'm tired of double albums, honestly. After Prince with his freaking triple album and double album back-to-back. But, yeah, Visions is just like... It's, as I said, a continuation, and it's less abrasive, but it has these more drawn-out, kind of hollow instrumentals, but it fits with the album, you know. Like you look at Clipping, self-titled, and you get the hollow instrumentals on there, and it's like I don't really want this, you know. But you go to Visions, and like, bruh, it works so well with the lyrical content because it's like supposed to be paranoid. Like you listen to a song like Check the Lock, I think that's what it's called, and it's like supposed to be suspenseful, you know. Oh my God, it fits the album so well. I think the song on here where it's like, it sounds like you're outside and you hear cars passing by, that might be on Existed, but like whatever. That song was fantastic. That may be one of the best Clipping songs. Just how like David's flow syncs up with any beat that like, oh my God, bro. Oh my God, you know what I'm talking about, but it was so like mind-boggling to me. I don't know why, it really blew my mind. But on the topic of Visions, there's no skips on here. It sounds like Being Paranoid. I mean, I brought that up earlier, but like it literally sounds like paranoia. And like both albums, Existed and Visions, remind me of Floss by Injury Reserve, kind of because of like the weird, disjointed, almost experimental bangers on them, just with the hooks and everything. Yeah, they're both really good albums. As I said, Existed is a decent 9, but Visions is like a decent to strong 9. I really like that album. I really like both of these albums. And there's my clipping tier list. As I said, clipping fans might be mad at me for this. They might be like, you underrated Splendor and Mystery or whatever, or Misery. And I'm like, it's just boring, man. Honestly, I think that's my problem with clipping, is that at their worst, they're just boring. I'll be honest with you, I'd rather have a very awful album opposed to a boring one. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just like that. I want to remember how awful it was, not just forget about it and just be like, yeah, it was just boring. But yeah, as I said, there's my clipping tier list. Share your rankings in the comments as always. What's your favorite clipping song, you know? My favorite's probably the opener to Visions. That's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. Yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. I'm glad you made it this far. Bye.